Am I live? I am live. Hello there, kitties. Let's carry the vacuum tube wedge. Where is the tube? Oh shit! I don't have any tube. What? No! Okay. We're gonna go without the tube. So, how many of us is here? Joras as always, Electron Box is here. Not too much happening in the chat. Yeah, what's going on? Just taking a look at the Discord to Soggy Electrics, but yeah, not too much happening here. I'll make it 2 hours until 9 p.m. in my time zone, because that's when I expect Fran's stream to start, and I will talk about what happened on last stream, all the moderation shenanigans, but first I just don't see that there's too much audience in my chat. As if transmitting for less than a handful of people, let alone less than a handful of people in binary system. So maybe before more people come, let me show you the video from the vintage computer fail. Because I went to a pretty local retro computer and gaming swap that takes place every half a year in Sopot, a town right between Gdańsk and Gdynia, like 12 or 15 kilometers away from my home. And this year's edition was pretty uneventful. I went there in October or November, and I got some pretty nice stuff. Let me show you what I got there. First of all, look at this. You call this a vacuum tube? This is a vacuum tube. The biggest tube in my collection, the transmitter triode Tesla ZD1000F. None of that elongated muskrat rubbish, the real deal Tesla from Czechoslovakia. Yeah, Electron Box, a few more minutes and people will come, I guess. This time I did a little experiment on my channel by adding a section to the front page that notifies people about the upcoming live streams. I wonder if it's gonna help viewers to find my streams, because otherwise they would have to unearth the link that I posted somewhere else, or look in the live section on my YouTube page. And if they have it right away on the front page. I guess this is gonna boost the viewership. At least I hope so. So that tube goes back to the shelf. Apart from this tube, I bought a Vidicon that I used for my repair attempt of a vintage black and white CCTV camera. This is the TP-K162, made in the 80s. Uses a Vidicon. Unfortunately, I don't have a lens for it. It has a video line composite output and the RF modulated output, VHF. I'd like to get it back up and running because this model of camera, I have a certain memory of this being in my high school in the physics lab that was connected to an old Polish monitor made by the Gdańsk Television Works. And my physics teacher in high school, she was old. She was in her 70s, about to retire when I was at high school, but we had a certain bond, like with my physics teacher in my middle school. We had a certain bond. She appreciated all the students who attended the physics interest group. Yeah, the high voltage ceramic pickup. Yeah, live stream alert. I guess that was when it went live. Now, why did the scene move in OBS? I don't know, but I had to recombobulate this now. Good thing I noticed. Maybe I just accidentally pressed on the mouse and moved it aside when I was grabbing the tube or putting it back. And this camera was in the classroom. It was in the physics lab. Not exactly this very camera, but the same model or the similar TP-K16. The 162 model, it was made with entirely with the Polish components, and the 16 model was made partly with Western semiconductors. So apart from the Vidicon, I also got this PCB drills. One of them, unfortunately, doesn't have the Collet insert, so I can't fit any drill bit in it. The other one is okay. I sometimes use it. And I'd like to build a PCB drill stand, something like a little drill press, so that I can just push down on it, make a hole, push down on it, make a hole. And another thing I got from the previous VCF is my favorite album from Jean-Michel Jarre. It's pretty dark. I also have Oxygen, Equinox and Magnetic Fields, but Zuluk is my favorite Jarre album. And I think I also bought one or two other records at the first edition I went to, but I guess that was Love Over Gold by Dire Straits, if I remember correctly. Don't remember what else. Anyway, let's talk about this year's edition, because it took part in the same place. It was a school gym, and there were tables where people put their stuff, whatever they were selling. It was mainly games and 8-bit computers. Nothing all that unique. I was considering taking some of my stuff, some of my exhibits, like the Semtron and Iskra calculators, maybe some test gear, make a demonstration only stand without selling anything, but just showing cool old tech to the people. But I was talking about it with my friend, but he was feeling more depressed for the time being, and I wanted to organize it with him, because I don't have the social and organizational skills to pull something like this off all by myself. And I would need help transporting the stuff. Can't see a possibility of going there by train hauling a lot of gear. So I wanted to ask him if he could take me and the gear by car. But that was not an option, unfortunately. Maybe some other time. Oh! Nice to see you. Forgotten Fashions. Rachel, nice to see you. If they had enough power supply, yeah, I'm pretty sure they had. Power is not really a big problem, unless I wanted to go all Usagi electric with a mini computer, or let alone a big-ass vacuum tube computer. That could be problematic, but my gear Just a few 100 watts if you run it all together. Not a problem, and I have extension cards, good quality extension cards made by yours truly. That as long as the wiring in the building can handle this, there's absolutely no problem, and I could even help others get their power. Hey, Mouse! Hey, Logwatcher! So there's more and more people coming up in the stream. Nice to see you all. 8 concurrent viewers. Just skyrocketed in but a few minutes. Like, if I can just contract the time scale on the analytics, like it shows all the time since I announced the stream rather than since I started the stream, since I went live. That's completely stupid. Just going out on a tangent about how YouTube does stuff. So let me show you the video, the footage from the vintage computer fail. Maybe with a comment or two other than the comments that I recorded right when I was there. Maybe let's just walk through this again with my commentary now, just for some more insights. Sometimes I'll stop the video. I turn down the volume of the video. That's because that's just me talking. So this is the entrance, and people would be taking the stuff away already. It was something about something around 1 p.m. when I went there, maybe even later, and the vintage computer fair, it just it was going on since 8 a.m. Wolfenstein, or Wolfenstein, like the Americans call it. I've got good memories, and I also shot some Nazis at the VCF just for the funsies. Later on, I played some Dangerous Dave on this computer. This laptop, an early laptop, it's not ruggedized or military or anything. Commodore's, the original C64 power supply. Pristine. Not reliable. Not the one I modified. A joystick? Oh, I should have bought the joystick. Some vintage calculators. This was made in Poland, the Lolek and the TI-30, if I remember correctly. Canon with a VFD. an old photo enlarger, probably monochrome, probably either Pentagon or Crocus. This is the memory stick tester with an adapter card for 4 SIM modules, a angle view CRT from an intercom, a video phone or video intercom.
Pretty popular recently.
Old Polish phones. Some nicely modified C64 keyboards with painted keycaps, and all the lettering was redone after painting. Timex microcomputer and Atari. Play some River Raid. I played River Raid on a ZX Spectrum Plus 2 when I had it in for repair. Some vinyl records. Again, some console stuff. This is pretty interesting, the color stars. I never encountered one in my life. Playing Super Mario on NES on a CCTV monitor. Some vinyl records, the Radio Years collection of Frank Sinatra. Adam and the Ants, I have this one. They don't ask an astronomical price for this. I should have taken time to browse through the records. CDs. Again CDs. The place is deserting. There's hardly anyone anymore. There's just a little walkthrough. Look how empty this whole place was. And since there are no tables in the middle, it wasn't because people picked up their stuff and left. It's just that few people attended this fair, much less than the last one. Some vintage stuff. This is the Märklin German H0 model railroad system with 3 rails. One of them is for the power, and this is a homebrew console built with modern components. This capacitor, it's just for the looks. Check it out. Take a closer look. It's grounded on both ends. I even joked that it's a flux capacitor. And the seller built it himself. Kudos to him. I like those kinds of projects. This is very Keritech. Like building a custom device out of second-hand or vintage components. This is very Keritech. That video console, the orange one, also a Japanese Nintendo. I guess it's pretty rare in those parts. SpongeBob SquarePants, yeah. Cartridges.
Toys for nice children.
And of course, toys for nice kids, not the toys for naughty adults. And yeah, modern PS gaming. PS and Xbox, modern console stuff. one more stand that is actually pretty interesting because it has two Atari STs and a bunch of vintage mobile phones, including the Nokia 3310. That Nokia, it's well known for being built like a tank or a front-on pedal. Indestructible. And has a cult following. And now panning across the whole gym just to show you how
And that would be it
how
for the
deserted the place is.
computer fair.
Not too many people, and also what I heard was that most of the attendants, most of the people who have their stands at those vintage computer meets, they trade between each other. So at the beginning, they have more interesting stuff, and later on, they got rid of it for exchange it for what they need. Okay, time to read the chat because that's talking is talking. Time is money. Chit chat is not money. You hear about the job or what? To quote Butch from the Fargo traders in the first Fallout game. Hey, I look well. That's nice. That's a nice thing to hear. Mandatory bike mouse. Nice to hear that. Yeah, agree. Yesterday when I was on a big live stream, at some point he had a lot of crackling and distortion on his mic, and he really sounded like a Goa would. Yeah, displaying tubes not for sale. And with me, it's not just tubes. It's also devices. I strive for restoring old tech, and my big friggin' dream is to make my collection of vintage electronic gear devices public, show it all to people, and talk their ears off about old tech. Preserve the obsolete technology, and I'm vastly inspired by Sam Battle from Great Britain, the one who runs the Look Mom No Computer YouTube channel. If you're into synthesizers and electronic music, you'll definitely know that one. And if you don't, you really have to pay him a visit on both channels, because it's not just Look Mom No Computer, it's also This Museum Is Not Obsolete. And yeah, let me post the links. Yeah, that's gonna be one. Forgotten Fashions, yeah. wife's favorite game, Wolfenstein 3D, I guess. Brings back the memories of me being a kid in the 90s. Early to mid 90s, I first played Wolfenstein either on our second computer. That was a PC with the first generation Pentium 120 megahertz, or at school on something older like 386 or 486. And there was a big debate back in those times about violence in video games. This has been largely debunked by late 2000s, but people were really butthurt about kids playing games that had any hint of violence, because they thought that would turn them into criminals. That's bullshit. Playing games or watching movies, it's far from enough to make anyone actually do evil stuff. It's other factors that get people to do that. But this bias against media, against games, against pop culture, it didn't start with the games. I think it's been around for as long as any mass media were around. It was around when books became widespread in the 19th century, starting with the mechanized typesetting, because before typesetting has become mechanized, when it was manual, the printing industry didn't turn out a lot of books. Mechanization of typesetting and also printing, the rotoprint presses, the Heidelberg windmill machines that could turn lots and lots of sheets of paper in a short time, making books and newspapers widely available. And then those books and the skill of reading by means of education that became ubiquitous. Everyone read the books, and there were concerns about people reading the wrong books. Then it was with radio, because radio was new. It was even considered the work of the devil. Then the television, and then videos, computers, music videos on MTV. Everything new has some sort of a backlash, and let's not forget about certain genres like fantasy or science fiction. Let's not forget about the role-playing games, the satanic panic that revolved around Dungeons and Dragons in the 70s and 80s, maybe also 90s. Like with scaremongering movies, like propaganda against role-playing games, against Dungeons and Dragons in particular. Thanks to my girlfriend, I also became interested in the history of pop culture. So I know a lot of trivia now. So what's with the chat again? Yeah, classic back in the day, Wolfenstein. Was that a server there on the floor? I'm not sure when. I don't recall seeing any servers. Commodore SX, interesting. 5 inches monitor and drive, nice. Yeah, trans, of course. It's all trans here. Yeah, playing it in Germany. I'm absolutely sure that in Germany it was severely censored because any Nazi imagery like the swastikas or Hitler portraits, that would be an absolute no-go. That would depictions of Nazism, even in a very critical context, they were insanely censored by the government, even in the 90s. So I guess that there was a special German version of Wolfenstein that had all this stuff replaced. Tell you what, even violence in video games or media was hugely censored in Germany. That's why there was a European low violence version of Fallout, and that's why Command and Conquer used androids instead of humans as soldiers. Like they couldn't have red blood, so they had something like oil. Pretty fucked up looking at it from a few decades perspective, but that's how it was back in the day. Yeah, it was way too violent! Yeah. Oh, 19 hours 38. Okay, one moment, please. Am I so unprepared? It's still daylight. It's evening, but still daylight in the lab, but yeah, let's try that. Ow! Something gone wrong. Unforeseen consequences? Didn't waffle? Just ended up burning myself just a teeny tiny bit. Well, no bugs, no bug rogers, no risk, no fun. Okay, so I planned a little action today, like showing you some stuff. I won't be going over to the bench, but or maybe I will, but I'll do it later. But right now I'd like to do a little teardown of some something. some old tech, but yeah, change the view. What I have here, the most common way of for the girls like us to have hormone replacement therapy. It's the estradiol in pills, Estrafam, and this comes in a fancy schmancy dispenser. I'd like to show you how this dispenser is built. Doing a little Estrafam box teardown, because this is some pretty interesting mechanical engineering in this. For a medication package, it's pretty technologically advanced. It consists of 3 parts. One of them is the yellow base, the other one is the clear ring, and the third one is the white plastic middle ring that normally it's attached by a stud, and the melting plastic fills the hole in the middle, keeping it together. I cut it off and I can push it out now, but let's go through how this works. First of all, we have a little slot in the clear ring. When you get the unused package, there's a tab you have to break out first, and then get the first pill. And then when you want to get the second pill, you have to turn it. Click, clickety click, clickety click, clickety click. You can't turn it back, so it must have some sort of a pull mechanism. And here, this is the day of the week marker. It's also can go one direction, or also clicking, but the sound is a lot softer and lower. This can make a nice stim toy, like a fidget spinner. So, pushing out the day of the week marker, discombobulating it. I'm not exactly sure if this is gonna focus. Come on, focus. Yes, and this ring has asymmetrical teeth. It's trapezoid with one slanted side and one straight side. Made of polystyrene. And there are poles in the base that engage with those asymmetrical trapezoid teeth on this white ring. There's 4 of them, and that's what makes a soft clicking noise. because the plastic is pretty soft. If you hit it with a screwdriver, it sounds pretty dull. And the clear ring, it has 3 poles that engage with the teeth on the base, on the inner surface. Those teeth look more triangular. And since the poles make the movement, the noise, the wave transfer to the clear plastic. It's much higher. So that would be it for the Astrofem package, how this is built. And reading the chat again. Or zombies. Oh yeah! But in one of those, in one of the episodes of Wolfenstein, there were zombie-like mutants. Hey Liz, nice to see you, and hey Robert. So, there's people coming up. Warming up before Fran's stream. Just let me take a look if Fran announced her stream already. I guess that might be in half an hour. There's Scruff Dog streaming in 18 minutes. But yeah, Scruff Dog seems to be streaming very frequently lately. Totally unlike Big Clive, who largely moved out from doing live streams. He does the either bi-weekly or monthly public streams and Patreon streams at a similar frequency. So, what I'm gonna do now, let me show you something, some artifact of my era. Borrowed it from the local hackerspace. Unfortunately, it's a German edition. But I'll try to install it on a vintage laptop. I have a lot of good memories with that system. That's not with the German one, of course. I used the Polish one, but I have a lot of memories with Windows because that's when I really tinkered with computers, with operating systems, with the internals, with learned how to edit the registry, manage files, do maintenance tasks. Then I moved to Windows XP, and then I went all Linux. And now I'm gonna do a little teardown of some tech that I got from my friend who studies at the medical university in Gdańsk. He is a huge vintage computer nerd who is currently doing a big project of rebuilding a Mera 400 Polish mini computer. And since he is at the university, he has ties with labs that sometimes undergo clearance, get rid of stuff, so he can get lots of vintage medical and scientific tech. It's not always good. It's mostly Polish devices. This is a thermostat, a temperature regulator that also has a pump control. Not exactly sure what kind of research it was used in, but here we can see the temperature switch up to 40 degrees, stepped adjustment, and then a fine adjustment down to 1 degree. This, I'm not sure that XP, that might be some parameters. This is the divergence value, the the temperature difference, temperature error, and this part controls some sort of a pump, and this is the work time adjustment. This is the break time adjustment. So I think this is some kind of duty control. But let's take a look at how this looks inside. The screws have been removed, so I can just lift the cover, and this will reveal what we see here. Yes, this is really how this thing is built. Look at all this mess, this discombobulation. I wouldn't dare plugging this thing in. It's all too dodgy-bodgy. Like things wrapped in frigging Band-Aid. Not even insulation. It's regular Band-Aid. Bunch connections all over the place, cold joints. No quality control, but there's one. This is actually a thing of beauty. The amphenol potentiometer. A gem in a pile of junk. This looks like an aftermarket modification. The PCB was made of phenolic, not FR4. Phenolic was how circuit boards were made in Poland in the 80s. Some higher-end stuff like test gear that could have used FR4, but most electronics was made with phenolic. There's another PCB just under this. Slightly more elegant, but it has a heater relay that has two wires going to the terminal block on the rear wall. Those are the mains connections. The incoming mains cable, it has no strain relief whatsoever. Has a fuse on the neutral. This is dodgy as hell, because they used a regular isostat switch for mains. All the Polish electrical engineering, whenever they used isostat type switches, there was a special and very common kind for mains applications that prevented bouncing and made sure that the arc was extinguished quickly. This unit doesn't have this. What am I gonna do with it? I think I will use the enclosure for some amplifier project or something like that. This enclosure, this kind of enclosures was somewhat common, not all that common, but somewhat common in 80s and 90s Polish electronics. And that's pretty similar to what I used for my Little Red Devil amplifier. Let's take a look at the bottom side of the PCB. Lots of dodgy stuff. I guess that's all aftermarket modifications. Some cut trays, old carbon composition resistors. And let's discombobulate this piece of junk, because I'd like to know what's inside, and inside we have electrolytic capacitors. Negative sides connected together through a resistor to something that looks like the ground. 1000 microfarad, 10 volts. Extremely dodgy-bodgy. And there's also the open frame version of an R15 2PDT relay. 2PDT or DPDT. And also a smaller RM6 relay for the pump, I guess. And two sockets of a pretty common old Polish type. Those sockets are still made. A good design, actually. All the wires thread with loops formed on the end. The screws are coming loose. That's also a lesson to be learned when doing those teardowns. Never assume that an old device you're getting is in a good condition. Always check everything. If it passes visual inspection, you can try powering this thing up. And by try powering this thing up, I mean use a current limiter device like a dim bulb tester that will prevent harm from happening if there's something wrong with a device. I learned it a fortunately not so hard way when I was restoring the Iskra calculator. After I got it pretty much up and running, I had Magic Smoke leave the device with the current limiting light bulb lighting up. And guess what happened? It was one of the mains filter caps that got rapid and scheduled discombobulation. It started emitting magic smoke and heated up, but the light bulb limited the current, and I didn't have to deal with all kinds of nasty fallout. Of course, both of the filter caps got replaced with the proper modern X2 type film capacitors, and the unit is safe to power up and use. I also replaced all the electrolytics to make sure that it's gonna work. In fact, those electrolytics, some of them were dead. Something discombobulated, not a problem. Oh, and let me show you the one pretty common type of Polish plug. Made of bakelite. I really like how those plugs look. I have a nice collection of them and don't really want to use them all that much. I'd like to preserve them, but I have to change my philosophy to actually use and have some joy from those plugs. They have an lift style cable clamps, and in the old times it was just tin plated wires. Some people didn't even go as far as that and put some loose strands in the terminal, but the common practice was tin plating the stranded wires. Now we use ferrules at the end of the wire. This is the industry standard, and I also do it this way. But in field conditions, if you don't have those ferrules, you may as well go with tin plating if you have a soldering iron and some solder. Speaking of solder, I'm gonna get myself a spool of 6337 leaded solder and make a comparison against the 6040, the most common type of leaded solder. Bob Darlington got me into considering the 6337 because the thing is 6337 it's a eutectic alloy, so both fractions, the lead fraction and tin fraction, they will melt and solidify in the exact same temperature, and that should help a lot with how the solder flows and how it solidifies. It should give a shiny surface rather than matte. Less risk of having a cold joint. Okay, got another device for teardown. Also a Polish electronics, the Polish medical scientific gear. Red nails, thanks Rachel. I ran out of the white, pink and blue nail polish, so no trans pride theme, but I'd love to go back to that. So let's take a look at the Respiro tachometer, like this is labeled. I think this is this measures the breathing rate. Change the view just a tiny bit. So the unit has the large pull-on 5-contact socket that will come handy in my project. It has 2 double isostat switches. It has telecom style latching switches with light bulbs in the middle. And it has a big ass meter with a pair of limits that you can adjust. This vertical meter, it's slightly similar to the meters used on consoles in the Apollo mission control room, the mission operations control room. And on the back sides we have a 6x2 2-hole connector, a non-grounded mains connector, a few sockets, and a nameplate. The device was made by what? It was made by Temed. The logo is much better visible on the front. And by the way, this is the pilot lamp underneath. Temed in Zabrze in Silesia. And the type is RTK 301. 10 volt amperes, made in 1975. The marking from the Medical Academy in Gdańsk, the Gdańsk Medical University, the department of physiology. And there's an interesting thing that you can remove the bottom plate by turning this lock. It retracts and you can slide it out just like this, revealing the printed circuit board with one unpopulated and undrilled footprint for a interboard connector and an actual interboard connector, two power transistors, the germanium ADP672 and a Toshiba Twin 3055. And what are those? That looks like novel vacuum tube sockets. But is this device totally tubular? 10 volt amperes? I guess not. But let's discombobulate it. All the sides and the top. I'll take them off and we'll see what's inside the box. Commencing discombobulation. So, we've got some old innards, the red block capacitors, the crappy big Elva electrolytics, and those tube sockets. They are used for connecting the wire harnesses. The device is so dusty inside, I think I have to use gloves. And there's a German interboard connector, probably the same type as used on the Semtron calculator modules. Another smaller interboard connector in the middle. But the one in the back, I think this will be the same as what they have on Semtron. And I think that if I get enough of those connectors, I could even make a service riser board for working on the Semtron modules if I ever work on another machine and have to troubleshoot that. And there's a mains transformer with a acrylic insulation plate. There's also a cover for the mains facing parts. They are housed and insulated in the black plastic sub-enclosure. This is very elegant. I like this a lot, and I will have to say that this unit is vastly better built than the last one. None of that dodgy rubbish. Then the circuit board are curvy traces, hand drawn. And that looks very nice. Now, aftermarket modifications. Let's try taking out the power supply part. It's held in place with one screw. Screwing, 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 screwing. Now I can remove it. So it's those huge as 4700 microfarad 25 volts electrolytics. The electrolytics back then they were enormous compared to what we have now. This C15 Zener diode, and of course the BC527 transistor, the predecessor of the BC107 that I hold dear, because 107 is the type of transistor that got me into electronics. Also a spacer. It has integrated circuits on the board. The type is SFC 2709. Something pretty obscure, but yeah, now I guess I can remove the board and show it to you. There's no solder mask. Back in the day, there was almost no solder mask used. This is a double-sided, which was not very common either. In this case, there's no plated through house on the board. All the vias, if we take a closer look at here, this is the other side of the via. It's just a metal wire stub soldered on both sides. None of that plated through hole rubbish. That's how they made vias. If they didn't have plated holes. In case of FR4, the plated holes were pretty common when they made double-layered PCBs, but this, I'm not even sure if this is the typical phenolic, but it's double-sided and it has wire vias. This one the transistors might have been replaced, at least the 3055. There's also the ground contact to the collector of the transistor. Okay, let me read the chat for a moment, and then I will show you the meter in this device. Yeah, Robert. As for Fran, let me see, because I think that Fran announces her streams only half an hour before she actually starts streaming. So back a week ago, I thought Fran was not gonna stream, so I decided to run my own. Turned out that she was doing hers at 19 hours UTC. So I cut it short at a 1 hour mark, moved over to Fran, and Fran thought that I was still running my own stream, and she decided against giving me the moderation privileges if I run my stream at the same time. That's why I didn't have the rant. And there was no communication about it. I only sent her an email. We explained it, had some friendly talk also after the stream, but I did it the next day. But I had lots and lots of anxiety over this. Something is changing that affects me. Something's happening out of the blue. I have no idea what's happening, and this just caused my anxiety to shoot up so much that I had difficulty sleeping and was out of tune the whole Monday, and only sent her an email in the evening. Not sure what's her rationale about it, but I respect her decision. Hey, Chipmunk. Petty, I don't think it was petty, but yeah. Somehow, yeah, the shitty celebrity thing. And she warns me against going public. My thoughts about this whole situation are that I don't mind going little public, like in some limited context, being well known around the world in the nerd and hacker and electronics community. I would like that, but not really being well known in the general public. And my little advantage here with my channel is that I go out to a different public, a different audience that can face me in the real life here. So it's just I make videos about electronics, right? And since I make videos about electronics in English, catering to the international audience, not the Polish one. So there's almost no chance that anyone from my neighborhood will ever find me and spot me and recognize me. Because my audience would be far, far away, thousands of kilometers away. I got just a handful of Polish fans, but most of my audience is out there in the UK and in the States and all over Europe. And this is also what makes me somewhat feel safe, because even if there's an astronomical shit show about the trans community, and I'm proud as a trans woman and a supporter of the trans community. The Western shit show, even if it ends up in death threats and people sending me emails that they wish that I called it a life, that actually has almost no chance of happening in real life, because they are far, far, far away, and and I am here behind the big pond in another country where they can't possibly reach me. If some Polish Nazis find me and give me shit, it's a different thing. But since I have almost no contact point with the Polish community, including the electronic community, apart from some very little tight-knit bunches of friends, it's very unlikely. So let's try to take a closer look at the meter. I decided to take this device apart. It's not all that interesting. It's not all that interesting or beautiful to actually preserve, though by Polish standards it's very well built. My hands are getting dirtier and dirtier. I should have donned the gloves. They stick to good mechanical assembly practices using the regular washer and a spring washer under the nut to prevent the joint coming undone. Always appreciating, and I also I do it without a spring washer, but I always use washers under the nuts and under the screw heads. This side, I think I will have to undo the screws rather than the nut. Just because I can't really get that deep inside, or I should break out the forceps. Again, use the forceps, Carrie. No. Not really grabbing this. So I'll undo the screws. So here we've got this this meter. No manufacturer markings on this thing. There's a clear plastic cover attached by the brackets on one side. I had to remove this without a bracket. And there is a adjustment mechanism with connections going into the meter. So you can move those. You can move those pointers. If you take a closer look, there's a wire wound resistors way down inside. Lost my breath. Way down inside. It's attached. It's attached to this bracket that attaches to the side of the meter, and those are sliding contacts. Obviously they are insulated from each other, and they have their own individual connectors. The body of the meter, it's made of bakelite. It's not made of people. It's not Silent Green. Come on, recombobulate. And in order to get deeper, I have to undo those screws. It looks like someone has been here before. And there's a setting screw on the back surface. Like you can set the zero by turning it. Or you can't if it's not working, then. Yeah, the parallax error does its things, I guess. So let's see how this is built inside. trying to read the chat. It's past waffle time. Okay. Late breaking waffle. Hopefully no unforeseen consequences this time. Another. First try was okay, but next try ignition fault. Back to the meter. So there's 4 screws with conical heads on the side. After removing them, I should be able to pull the mechanism out, and it looks pretty nice. With limiters on both sides of minimum and maximum. The meter has trouble coming back. Might be a good idea to troubleshoot it, but look at this is very interesting here. And there's a printed circuit board with an adjustment trim pots and those SFC 2709 PC integrated circuits. It clearly has 2 identical channels looking at the values of the resistors. Probably has a common power source. This would look like an adjustment unit with a regulator, and those pointers would set the limit of the adjustment range, and when the value is not within limits, I guess that the device will either sound an alarm or trigger some effector. I guess it was used in different kinds of automation. I've never ever seen an indicator like this. Then the components, this is the tail pod, trim pod, Miflex film capacitor, and MLT Soviet resistors, so it was clearly made in Poland, and it was probably made right where the whole unit was made. So yeah, that's how it should come together. It's certainly a keeper, and maybe I will modify it for some projects. then what else do we have here? Those telecommunication style switches. I'm gonna take them out because one of my fellow vintage computer enthusiasts looks for those switches for equipment restorations, and I will give them to him. Other than that, I'm disassembling the device and maybe reusing the enclosure for some other project. So it's 20 minutes until the end, I guess. If there's no FranLab stream, I might go a teeny tiny bit longer, but yeah, that will be carry on instead of Fran. But yeah, let's read the chat. What's going on here? No tubes, yeah. Love that ThinkPad, yeah. W520, my production laptop. The last model to have the real deal keyboard, none of that chiclet rubbish. I love the old style ThinkPad keyboards. And I really pity that that Lenovo changed the keyboard design. I think that they should have carried on with the old design. Yeah, Electron Box, you have a point there. You would have thought Fran's struggling channel would have been supportive of other creators, but yeah. I really think that I'd like to use my slowly growing channel. It's just it's not even 1K1. It's past 1K, but nowadays running a YouTube channel, if it's not big yet, if it hasn't made it out there when it had an opportunity to, now there's almost no chance. So Fran can complain all she wants, but she has a big viewer base, she has a big patron base. She has over 280,000 subscribers. And she still complains that her channel doesn't grow. But she still has visibility. I have none. I have to rely on extra YouTuber recommendation algorithms, getting my stuff out there by hand, using those. Using this and those. I have to post the links here and there. And there's still almost no growth in my community. I really appreciate every single subscriber that comes to my channel and sticks with me. Even more so, every single patron. There's just less than 10 patrons. One of them is Fran, and I truly appreciate her support. It's like us being patrons to one another. But since you made a point, Election Box, about supporting the smaller channels, I really wish it was a thing on YouTube. I really wish a true community of the tech YouTubers electronic YouTubers was a thing. Like a few years ago, Dave Jones ran the electronic YouTubers hangouts every now and then. Dave Jones, Big Life, bunch of others. I wish it was back. It seems to me that the scene has become divided, individualized, and there's just too much competition for the limited resource that is the viewer's time. Like if one YouTuber makes a video about something and another YouTuber has a video about something and it happens to be the same subjects, like what makes the light bulbs and fairy lights still conduct electricity after a bulb goes out, then there seems to be too much of an unhealthy competition and holding grudges, and I don't do that because my channel is totally uncommercial. It's not even monetized. I don't care about getting demonetized, and I don't really see the view count and subscriber count as a measure of how much my channel and I am worth, because I don't do it commercially. I do it out of a passion, and I do it for the people, for the community, for building the community around all the electronics. There's also another problem with the vintage computers and electronics community around YouTube, that big names, big YouTubers like Techmoan and also Fran, unfortunately, if they post a video about some obscure piece of tech, that piece of tech, that model, that device, that manufacturer, that type of component or device becomes instantly popular, and sellers online pick it up, hop on the bandwagon, sell it for astronomical prices, keeping the poor nerds like me out of the whole thing. Like, almost no chance of buying Nixie tubes cheaply. I was fortunate to get a nice collection of Nixie tube from my friend who changed interests and didn't really want to do vintage electronics anymore. Let me grab it and show you. One moment, please. Let's change the view. And there's Coco. This is Coco, my lab assistant. But Coco, I think you have to move aside just a teeny tiny bit. I've got the box of Soviet VFDs and other stuff. A conformally coated Soviet VFD module with a decoder chip that comes in two separate parts. This is a resistor and transistor matrix, as a matter of fact. Industrial or military grade. RC513 made by Dolam in Wrocław, Polish Nixie tubes. Back in 2000s, I bought two of them at a flea market that those were the first Nixie tubes I ever had, but I lost them like they fell off and broke, unfortunately. A Soviet calculator flat VFD. Got a bunch of those. Another type of... This is IV18, I think. Iron 12 Nixies. Same as Dave Jones used for making the subscriber counter for his 100k EEV block project. And another VFD, same type as the previous one. Also got the telecom pulse counter. Those were all over the place in phone exchanges, and whenever a subscriber was in a phone call, the selector switches routed the pulse generator, patched it into the individual subscriber's counter, counting those pulses, and that was the base for billing the phone calls. It got a little corroded, but those things usually worked on 60 volts DC here in Poland, 48 volts DC in the United States, and this is the drive mechanism. Come on, focus! Wonder if there's a way of resetting this. I can turn it back. this tab, it's for anti-tamper. You can seal the counter so that no one takes the cover off. I guess that was pretty important for billing purposes, so that it's not tampered with. So okay, let's have the cat and read the chat. Have the cat and read the chat. Hey Alana, nice to see you. Did Poland always use magic? Of course. Poland always used metric in engineering as soon as it became standard. Poland adopted the System International. France stepped on her own feet. Use the forceps, of course, Gary. Use the forceps, Luke. Chips in the meter, yeah. Snakes in a plane. It's not snakes, it's gremlins. It's gremlins. Clive does the same to electronic weird things on eBay. Yeah, he mostly does turndowns of consumer electronics, which doesn't interest me all that much. It's when Clive does a turndown of some professional electronics, like a street light or a something lighting gear used in entertainment industry. That's where it gets very interesting. Other than that, I love the teardowns from Mike's Electric Stuff. He really seems to be focusing on the scientific and medical devices. That's also what I have in common with him, because I get my stuff from the medical university here. He probably mainly buys his stuff. I'm not really sure of that. Let's check if Fran is going live anytime soon. Hey, where's Fran? Where's Fran? Bench Fun edition, but nothing today. I guess I will carry on instead of her. Just maybe half an hour or an hour, because we would like to cook dinner with my queer friends, and nothing really new other than Scruff Dog. That will be winding down. too many rants, Rachel. Nah, I don't mind her rants. I really think that they are insightful at times. And sometimes you really can learn a lot of stuff about a person listening to them ranting. What they rant about it, how they rant about it, what they criticize, what actions they sometimes suggest should be taken. Yeah, Zdzisiek, that was a phone pulse counter. Yeah, Mike's electric stuff. Let's turn down this 1.2 million pound device from 1997. Well, I would like to get my hands on a light shear or some other cosmetic laser device used for hair reduction. Show people how those things are built inside. I think that especially the trans feminine part of my viewership will appreciate the tech that goes into the hair reduction process. Cooking show. I'm not sure I have the technical means to do a cooking show. That would be somewhat fun. Then the brain is working. Yeah, Clive's rants, they are superb in quality, I have to say. Louis Rossmann also has a point many times. I like Rossmann rants. But personally, I think that Louis Rossmann is... I really miss his technical content, like repair videos and occasional rants at the bench. I really think that his bench rants are way better than his armchair rants. I also like Dave Jones's rants, but I just don't get that many people don't like Dave Jones for his high-pitched voice. Like, who cares about what voice someone has if they talk sense? I don't care. I also don't care about Daniel Danek, also known as Diode Gone Wild accent. He's Czech and he has a very characteristic accent. Lots of people don't like it, but I really like his videos. They are pretty insightful, and when he does a teardown of a phone charger, he goes all the way deep down into the converter's transformer, showing how it is built down to the core. I have to say, that's truly down to the core, and if I sometimes say something is super dodgy, that's the one I picked up from Daniel. I have tuna, thank you. I have tuna, but is it an AM tuna or FM tuna? Yeah, quite a few times, Erection Box. That's nice. That's nice. As a matter of fact, I would love to meet the other creators in real life. I think that I have a best chance in continental Europe. If I ever go west to Germany, I'd love to do some stuff with Adkelar. I'd love to do some stuff with the post-apocalyptic inventor. I'm not subscribed to Marco Raps, but I think I might check his channel out. Yeah, Styropyro bought a cheap cosmetic laser from China. What I was thinking about, it was not a cheap option. Those things cost tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands retail. But I guess that technological progress will force getting rid of the old, outdated devices. So they most probably go to scrap. I'd like to save one from reaching that fate and instead facing discombobulation on this very bench. At least opposite to scrapping, contrary to scrapping, there's knowledge to be gained if I take it apart. If it gets disposed of at a scrap heap or e-waste processing plant, it doesn't go into knowledge. Unless a real deal nerd works at a disassembly line and they are passionate about taking stuff apart and learning how it is built and how it works. But I'm 95% sure that those places, like most businesses, they have their time pressures. They are focused on doing as much as they can in as short time as possible. This does not facilitate learning. If you want to learn, you have to take time, and if you're under constant pressure, that's why corporate environments are totally not for me. I'm not cut for that kind of work. I do my work in my lab and I learn things with every device I repair and every device I take apart, every video I make, and I get by doing repairs. Mostly audio equipment. There's not much of it, but I decided I'd like to be specialized in vintage electronics repair and restorations. You can never know it all. Every device from every country, every period, it's unique, and you have to apply an individual approach. There's no recipe to fix them all. And I like that it takes thought to approach the devices and solve the problems. And the more problems I solve, the more knowledge I have, the more skilled I am. And the more stories I have that I can tell others. That's pretty fascinating. Yeah, Mike's electric stuff. I think he had a website back in 2000s, maybe even 90s. I learned it. I learned about it only recently, but just by looking at it, it's made in the plain and simple HTML plus CSS, I guess. None of that PHP rubbish, let alone content management systems. And that speaks volumes about how long he has been running it. And I'm sure it predates YouTube in general, or at least his YouTube channel. Okay, let's read the job, yeah. Couldn't have done it with a 70s level amp. Level amps were not really a thing in Poland. They only appeared here in 2000s, maybe 90s. 2010s for sure, but they were not really popular way back when. Louis cat videos, of course. Especially with Mr. Clinton meowing. That meow is so remarkable. Meow! Meow! Trying to imitate it, but not as good as the real deal. Yeah, Atkelar needs to have his assistant's hand shaved. Oh well. CO2 dental laser. Wow, that's totally tubular. Okay, just look at what this crazy thing is doing. He's biting me. He's biting me. Coco, would you please stop biting me? Coco, you will get timed out. I can assure you that you will get timed out real soon. Coco left the chat. Or left le chat. Yeah, Coco is hungry. Oh, he gets his food twice a day. Yeah, someone on the TV was saying the phone system was crap. In Poland we had two types of phone exchanges, the Strowger system and the Pentagonta crossbar system, and those were in use well into the 1990s, even 2000s, but indeed they were massively scrapped. There's hardly any equipment remaining now. Maybe the Technology Museum in Warsaw has a phone exchange, but I haven't heard about any full-scale phone exchange switches being preserved. Though I know that Alexander Zawada in Warsaw has a small-scale little exchange with Strowger two-way two-motion selectors that the rising part and the rotating part two-step selectors. You see a lot of this stuff on Connections Museum, the one from Seattle, and you see lots of this stuff on Sam Barrow's channel. This museum is not obsolete. He has a fully fledged phone exchange in his museum. If I ever go to the UK, I have to visit the place because it seems to be enormous, like an old factory building. More than just an entire floor dedicated to vintage equipment and analog synthesizers. Absolutely impressive, and just check out his huge organ. He has a huge organ. Maybe not as big as the Wanamaker organ, but Sam Beddoes' organ. Wanamaker come. This organ Wanamaker come. I'm getting naughty. Strowger TXS TXK. Not. I don't think I heard about TXS and TXK. "20 pulse per second, that's nice. That really required good maintenance of the selectors. Because from what I heard, they were jamming all the time if they were not properly cleaned and lubricated. It's like maintaining and running a monotype composition caster. Those machines, they had to be kept tidy and well oiled and well adjusted. Otherwise, they could break. But with skilled maintenance, they did an absolutely beautiful job. TX telephone exchange. TXE. Analog electronic phone switches. I wonder how that works. because digital seems pretty straightforward with modern control systems and relay cards. I once found one or two phone exchange relay cards in trash. Took them apart. But still a nice piece of electronic engineering. Yeah, read relay. I have some telecom read relays in my lab. So the logic, the switching, the whole commutation process was all digital, but what went from phone to phone, it was fully analog. That's right. I guess that those systems had the DTMF dialing already, rather than pulse dialing of old. They couldn't work with the number dial phones anymore. Drum memory? Wow, that's impressive. Drum memory, it will always remain, remind me of Usagi Electric and the Bendix G15. An absolutely impressive computer. Small, but the way it is built, it's absolutely a work of art. Oh, they accepted both pulse and tone. Oh, I guess that in Polish telecoms there was this weird transition period in 90s and 2000s when you could use both. Your landline, Chipmunk, you have a landline. You still have a landline. We got rid of ours in late 2000s, I think. I mean, the one that my parents had. I still have our first phone. The red Bratek. Keeping it as an exhibit that I can always show how those things were built. VDSL. I haven't really heard about VDSL, just ADSL. That was very popular in Poland back when Polish Telecom was the sole phone operator. They offered a service named Neostrada that was ADSL, and that was pretty groundbreaking back in its time. The earlier dial-up connection, it was pay per minute, and if you had a modem like 56K, you dialed 0, 20, 21, 22, and that's how you got online in the late 90s, early 20s. early naughties. Naughty naughties. Not so naughty naughties. We also used it, and tell you what, going to internet cafes was way cheaper. That's why I went to internet cafes or used internet at school. I remember browsing and downloading maps for Command and Conquer Red Alert 2. Getting online on a dial-up connection. Those were strange times. And my queer friends were teeny tiny kids back in those times. Just like I was a teeny tiny kid when I first touched a computer. Our first computer was a PC XT. Later on upgraded to 80 with 286 processor, two 5.25-inch floppy disk drives, and one of the floppy drives, the A colon drive, was used for MS-DOS 3 point something, and the other one was for software, and I did a lot of gaming on that system. No Wolfenstein yet. I played Prince of Persia. I played various racing games. F-16 simulator. Montezuma's Revenge. Alley Cat. Some Pac-Man, Tetris, Mahjong. Sokoban. Oh, Sokoban was a lot of fun. This really made you think. Not sure what other games I played back then, but that was the first gaming era for me. I was 7 years, and Prince of Persia was my biggest special interest. I could info dump on it, and I could draw levels for the game, design levels during breaks at school. Talk with other nerdy kids. Later on in my second gaming era with that Pentium PC, it was mainly Fallout, but also Doom 1 and 2, Heretic, Quake 1 and 2, Half-Life. Half-Life was also one of my special interests. Command and Conquer series, Crusader, No Remorse and No Regret. I fired up Crusader No Remorse recently on DOSBox, but I can't seem to get a grip on the controls again. And I'm playing on a LCD monitor, missing the CRT displays. I think that at some point I will do a shared project with Alana, putting a retro gaming PC with a CRT display, but using a compact flash card as the main storage, surpassing anything that was available back in the day, with a possibility of multi-booting into 3DOS and Windows 98, maybe even XP, and probably also some Linux distro that can handle such an antiquated hardware. So that's gonna be one hell of a project. Alana got an old 1990s server that was in fact the first server that Wirtualna Polska, a big internet portal, one of the first in Poland, ran on. She has this very server because she worked at a company that was founded and co-owned by one of the original founders and owners of Wirtualna Polska. So she has a historical machine that made one of the biggest websites in Poland work in her lab. Quite remarkable. And we're gonna be making it into a vintage gaming platform, because there was unfortunately no original HDD in this machine. So ain't no chance of getting it operational as in its original purpose. I think I might even make a video about it someday. Maybe bring it to my lab, I'm not sure. But at the moment it's after 9 p.m. Where I live. It's gonna be time to call it a stream in a bunch of minutes. Nothing new on FriendLab, so I guess she won't do her stream today. That's why I carried on just a teeny tiny bit longer. Hey Vampy, nice to see you here. Oh, read the chat because I have a backlog. Class of service, mappings, etc. Magic Jack, interesting. Never heard of that. Early voice over IP. I could say I have some professional background in the voice over IP, the SIP protocol kind of vibe. I worked 1.5 years for an IT/telco company that developed cloud-based, private branch exchanges, call center systems, video conference, teleconference, not that much video conference, because they were doing some research and development on video conferencing back in 2012, but that didn't go to production when I was working for them. And I did technical support for the customers and software testing. Not really not having fond memories of that company. It was just a bunch of dude bro programmers. Not a single woman in my department. In the whole research and development division. An overgrown management structure. Like 3 or 4 levels of management for a company that employed just a few tens of people. Okay, it will be time to call it an evening. So, without further ado, it's 21:37 and it's sort of a meme in Poland. So, without further ado, it's gonna be time for an awkward moment, so stay determined and carry on. It's 16 degrees Celsius outside, 15.98 with my new Thermomix digital thermometer. Not really focusing. Like, normally you see those nexus glow, but if you try to capture it with a camera, it gets so blurry. Blurry and overexposed. And oh my goodness, my neck is hurting a lot now. Not sure why. Anyway, let's put some sunglasses in front of the lens. Let's do an experiment. Let's do an experiment. Oh my goodness! That's way better, but it goes out of focus. It goes out of focus so fast. So I guess that the experiment was pretty successful. Cool girls. That what good is being a cool girl if you can't see anything? I can't live without my glasses. Otherwise, it's so blurry. I have myopia at minus 4.5, I think. Talk, talk. It's my life. Don't you forget. It's my life. It never ends. If I got the lyrics right, of course. I don't have any Talk Talk record. Although I'm a huge new wave and post-punk fan, I still have just a few records. I don't have all I want because it's all so expensive. Can't afford that stuff. So okay, that would be it for today. Time to say goodbye. Stay determined and carry on. Awkward moment.